Hey guys, quick video coming out to you here talking about the specialty knives and some of the names and uses. I'm going to start with a couple of the favorites, which are the Hardy Slicer and the Gourmet Prep Knife. These are basically similar in use, and the difference is really the shape. If I want to be able to stab something like a bigger melon or a big piece of meat or something and I need the tip, that's why I would use this one, typically for bigger, harder melons. This one has more of the Santoku shape, so it has a little bit more surface area. It's a tad bit longer, but simply just because of the curve. But these are really great for thick-skinned fruits and vegetables, things like zucchini, big oranges and grapefruit, things like pineapple. It's the ultimate barbecue knife. I use it for separating ribs and cutting pork loin down into chops, cutting corn on the cob in half, or even cutting corn off the cob once it's cooked. But it's a slicing utility knife, and it just glides right through even thick and tough stuff like pineapple. So that's what the Hardy Slicer is best for. When it comes to cutting super duper hard things like squash, one of the things you'll find, the double D is cut on one side and then it's flat on the other. So if you look at any of the double D edges, when you're cutting something super hard with a knife like this, you may notice that it sometimes kind of curves off. So it curves off so the food isn't straight. It kind of varies off to the left because of the double D edge. So either you have to hold it really, really, really tight and force it to go straight, or that's one of the great things about this vegetable cleaver. It's named the vegetable knife. Some of the FSMs and some of the company executives have nicknamed it the vegetable cleaver, and this knife is really good for chopping and dicing. It's got a thin blade, but not as thin as most of our chopping knives. So most of the chopping knives, like the French knife and the Santoku knife, I wouldn't want to cut through squash with, but with this one, because the blade's a little bit thicker, it can handle real easily cutting right through this squash, and most importantly, because it's sharp on both sides, it's straight as you cut through. So this has a little bit thicker blade, but still thin enough for doing chopping and dicing, and then when you get something that's a little bit more thick and tough to cut, this can handle it. It's also really good for butterflying steaks and again, just general prep, but we refer to this as the vegetable cleaver. Then there's the bigger meat cleaver. So we got this big boy right here. This thing weighs a full pound. So this is really good for cutting through frozen food, cutting through coconut, cutting through chicken bones. You can use it for things like this where it'll just go right through. So this is just one where you kind of let the blade kind of drop and it just goes right into stuff. So again, separating ribs you could use this for as well. This is a great barbecue knife. And it's also really good for cubing meats for salads and stir fry and stuff like that. Then we move on to the salmon knife. The salmon knife has a super duper flexible blade, and it's super sharp. Even though it's super soft, it also cuts through even really hard things like this. So people love to use this for melons. People use it for softer, gooey things like smoked salmon or any of your fishes that you have. Again, you can manipulate the blade, cut really thin slices of beef. So you could use this as a carving knife. So this is one where also you can take it and you can use it as a flexible. You can flex it and just kind of run it through a watermelon, and it'll just kind of scoop out the insides of it real easily. But again, this thing is super duper flexible for all those types of applications. And then last we have the boning knife. So the boning knife has a little bit of flexibility to it, but not as much as the salmon knife. So this is really good for getting the skin off of fish or chicken, deboning chicken. It's a longer straight edge than the trimmer, and it's got a straight edge on it compared to the double D edge. So I can just put this right in a piece of chicken along a bone and just kind of push it along the bone, and it'll just take the meat right off of the bone. It just falls off. So it's another razor sharp straight edge blade that can be used for a lot of those different things. Again, you could use it for butterflying steaks, you can use it for getting the skin off of things, and then any kind of general slicing applications that you want to use it for. So those are the specialty knives. Hope that helps. You guys have a great day.